Hi guys, I'm back. As I promised, I would come up with the hands-on video. So this is going to be a hands-on video for Amazon S3 bucket. In this video, we would be discussing about how to create Amazon S3 bucket. So let's stay tuned. So here is our AWS console, right? This is the very first console that you would get once you log into the console. So this is a search bar. I'll just create on I'll just type S3 here in order to reach out to S3. So before I get to the console and start creating the S3 bucket, let me tell you the ways to create S3 bucket. So we have, multiple ways to create S3 bucket. We can create S3 bucket using console. Let me write it down here. We can create S3 bucket using console, right? Then we can use AWS CLI to create S3 bucket. And then we can use REST APIs as well to create the S3 bucket REST API, or we can call it like SDKs, Python, right? So these are the various ways to create S3 buckets. So in this tutorial, we would be seeing how would we be creating S3 bucket using the AWS console. So let's move right back to the console. So all we need to do in order to get to the S3 bucket, all we need to do, we just have to go to the search bar, type S3, right? And then you will have this S3 opened up. Just click on it and it will take you to the S3 console. So here you see I have a lot of buckets created. So you see as we mentioned in our last video that S3 is a blend of global as well as regional services. So S3, you see S3, this is a global service, right? However, the buckets and all are the regional services. You can see that I have a list of buckets created in various regions. Here, this bucket is created in Frankfurt region, Europe. This is in Asia Pacific, and these two buckets are created in US West and US East. All right, so let's move on. So in order to create the bucket using console, what we need to do, we just have to click on this create bucket. So once you click on this create bucket, then you will have this beautiful console opened up. It will have two options, general purpose and directory. So general purpose is basically for the the use cases that we discussed about keeping the backup, the data lakes and archivals. So that is where we would use general purpose. And directory one, this is for where we need a lower latency. So that is where we can use that directory option. So right now we are just focusing on to the general purpose. In the next video or other video, we would be talking about the directory one. So here, in short, you just need, if somebody asks you what is the difference, so you can just tell them that directory one is having lower latency as compared to the general purpose. All right. So I will just go with the general purpose one, and then we will put the bucket name here. So guys, you need to make sure that the bucket name should be the unique, right? As we discussed in our last video, that this is a global name. This is a global namespace. So it has to be the unique name. It's a domain name. It has to be the unique name since it's an internet routable name, right? Similar to the websites that we have like Facebook, like, google.com, yahoo.com, or whatsoever you can think of, right? So similarly, it has to be the unique name across internet, right? So I'll just put it random name here, like my test bucket. Let's see if it is available or not. If it is not available, then it would, while creating this bucket, it would show me the error. All right, this is my bucket name. Now move on to the object ownership. So, and before that, there is one more option called copy settings from existing buckets. So if I want to copy like encryption settings, ACL settings, versioning, right? So these all are the features of S3 bucket. So if I would want to inherit those permissions, so then I can click on this choose bucket and pick that bucket from where I want to pick the settings. But at this point in time, we are just doing right from the beginning. Hence, we would be skipping that step and we would be straight away, we would be moving to the object ownership. So in object ownership, you see there we have two options, ACL disabled and ACL enabled. So let's understand what is ACL disabled and ACL enabled. So ACL disabled, Amazon recommends us to have this ACL disabled all the time, right? Specific, unless we have some specific requirements, then only we can go for the other option. So now let's understand what is that. So by default, what happens whenever I create a S3 bucket, right? Whenever I create a S3 bucket, the account where I'm creating the bucket has got the ownership of that particular bucket, right? And in case of ACL enabled, right? In case of ACL enabled, uh, this actually works when we have a multi-account architecture. Let me get into this diagram and I'll just draw this and I'll explain it here. So this is, let's say, my account A, AWS account A, right? This is my AWS account A. And now this one is my account B. All right. So, and let's say I have created my S3 bucket here in my AWS account A. Okay. And my user or my application, right? My IAM user or application is in in the different account, that is AWS account B. Okay. So here my bucket is, all right, my bucket is in my bucket is in the account A, and the user or application who wants to access the bucket, right, or upload the data, right? The users are in account B, right? So in option one, in this option, what happens? ACL disabled. So by default, what happens? Irrespective of who is the uploader, the bucket ownership remains to the account A, right? The bucket ownership remains to the account where the bucket is being created or where the bucket is created, right? So by default, this bucket, this account, AWS account A will have the ownership of the uploaded objects. All right, by default, this is a default setting. Whereas if I go with the second option, this option, if I do this, then what happens? The ownership, uploaded object ownership goes to account B. All right. So this is like in specific cases or in some use cases, it might be useful, but most of the time this will create a lot of problem for us. Because what will happen? Since this account is the owner of this bucket, right? And let's say if I want to put some policies, right? I want to put some policies in the objects created in a particular bucket in an account A. And if I do not have the ownership, then I would not be able to, or the user in account A would not be able to apply all those policies on the objects uploaded by the user or application in account B. So that will create a chaos. So to avoid that situation, what we do, we go for this option, ACL disabled, right? I hope you understood it. And if you have any question on that, please feel free to comment on this and I will respond to that, right? So we will go with this bucket ownership. It's bucket owner enforced, that is ACL disabled, right? And well, for now, we will just block all public accesses. That means this public access would be disabled for this bucket. It is a best practice to make your S3 bucket secure so that, unauthorized access or unauthorized person cannot access your bucket to retrieve the data. Bucket versioning, for now, we will just go with the default one. We will just let it disable. And encryption point of view, there is a server-side encryption that is Amazon S3. Like as we mentioned in our last video, that Amazon manages all that encryption keys and everything. So same here, like encryption is again managed by Amazon, and we would be discussing about this in subsequent video. And bucket key, right now we are just enabling it. And now let's click on create bucket. And see, as we mentioned that this should be the globally unique name. Since this bucket name is already exists somewhere, like somewhere down the line, somebody is already using that name. Hence, it had given me the error. All right, so I'll just put some random character and then we'll try to create the bucket. Again, the bucket is again taken. So I'll just put this. Let's see. I think it has taken up. Yes. So now this new bucket has been created. This is the bucket that I created in this region. And here you see the metadata says June 19th, right? The creation date. So that is all of this is the metadata of this bucket. Now let's get inside of this bucket. Let me upload some data in it. So for uploading the data, all you need to do, just click on, let's go back here. This is the bucket. Let me start it all over. Here is the bucket that we just created. It's a list of all the buckets, right? We are working on this one. Let's click on it. Then here you have all the options, objects, properties, permission, metrics, management, access points. We would be discussing everything, all the tabs that we have here. We will have a deep dive onto that. But before that, we will just try to upload a file here. Add files. And then I'll just upload this one. Okay. And here you see, this is the destination. Destination, as you see here, S3 is prefixed here, right? S3:/ and then the bucket name, right? So this is the destination, like where this file is being uploaded. All right. So now I'll just click on upload. All right. So I have uploaded this file. Now see, here you see. So this is the object URL. So let's try to open this up. Hey, what happened? It had given me error. Access is denied, right? Access is denied. What does that mean? I cannot access this, right? So now let me go back again here. And let's try this option open. Here I can see my bill, right? See the difference between these two URLs. Now let's try to understand between these two URLs. So the first, this one got opened, right? If you see the bill, it goes up to bill.pdf. And if I compare this one, it goes up to bill.pdf. And from here, you see there is some extra characters behind this. And if I go right here, you would see Amazon credentials here, right? You see this Amazon AMZ credentials. So that is basically the token that I received when I tried opening this using this open option. So since I have logged into this console, AWS console, so it already has my credentials, right? So I have already authenticated with that. Hence, what it did, when I created this, when I clicked on this open button, so it generated a it generated a URL with the token, right? Or with credentials, you can say that. So that allowed me to open that file. All right. So that is the difference between these two URLs. The other one, when I tried to open this with this option, it is straight away denied. That access is denied because you see there is no credentials behind this. But here we had the credentials. Hence, it allowed me to access this file or retrieve that file. All right. So that's all about this lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to mark a comment, post a comment, and I will be more than happy to answer your comment. Thank you. Stay tuned. I would be coming up with the new lecture, new video on S3. Thank you.